This delicious, super easy one-pot pasta meal is guaranteed to get you thinking about different ways you can cook pasta at home. To get started, grab a large saucepan. This one holds 4 litres or around 4 quarts. In goes 850ml or just under 3.5 cups of vegetable stock, 1 whole sprig of rosemary and a small sprig of thyme. Take that over to your stovetop and place it onto a low heat to infuse the veg stock with the flavour of the herbs. I'm using butternut squash for this dish today and it can be a bit sweet, so to counteract that, we need to build up some robust, savoury flavours. Rosemary and thyme are great at this. Sage, parsley, bay leaves and oregano would also be great options. Place a lid onto the pan so we don't lose any volume through evaporation. Whilst that's infusing, let's prepare the butternut squash. Here I have an average sized squash weighing in at almost 1.2 kilos or 2.6 pounds. I'm just going to peel it with my veg peeler. The skin on a butternut squash is perfectly edible, but for this dish I prefer it without. Once you are down through the skin of the squash, keep peeling until you get past these green lines. Once you have it all peeled, take the top and tail off, then cut it in half, separating the bottom part that holds all the seeds and the top part that is pure flesh. We are going to prepare these in 2 different ways. The bottom half we will grate and the top half we will turn into small cubes. For the top, just cut it into manageable sized pieces, create a flat surface so the squash moves around as little as possible when cutting. Cut into fingers and then just cut across those, resulting in a 1 cm, roughly 1/3 of an inch dice. For the base of the squash, cut it into quarters, then take the seeds out. I like to use my knife, but a spoon works just as well. Then just grate all of it on a box grater. Now onto the aromatics. To keep it simple, I'm using 1 whole white onion and 4 cloves of garlic. For the onion, I'm just doing a medium dice. I'll leave a link in the description to a video showing you the best way to do this if you don't know already. And for the garlic, I'm just doing a reasonably fine dice, not into a puree. Once again, if you want to learn how to do this, I'll leave a link to another video below. At this point, preheat your oven to 160 Celsius, 320 Fahrenheit. Back to the stock. It's been gently simmering for the time it's taken to prepare the vegetables, and it smells deliciously fragrant from the herbs. Strain it through a fine mesh strainer into a container and leave that to one side. Give the saucepan a little rinse to make sure there's no grit from the herbs in the bottom, and place it back onto the heat and turn it up to a medium. I'm using the smaller gas flame on my stovetop so the flame doesn't come around the sides of the pan and scorch the vegetables. Add around a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to the pan, let that heat for a few moments, add the diced onions and a pinch of salt. Sweat the onions down gently for a few minutes. We don't want any caramelization because we don't want to develop any more sweetness in this dish. We want that savoury aromatic onion flavour, so just get them translucent like this. Now add in your finely chopped garlic and 25 grams or just under 1 ounce of butter. Cook that out for around 1 minute. Adding butter at this stage and keeping the heat medium to low helps to stop the onions and garlic caramelizing. Now add in 250 grams or 8.8 ounces of orzo. If you have ever made risotto, we are doing the same technique here by just toasting the pasta slightly. This will give us a bit more depth in flavour throughout the dish. Toast for 2 to 3 minutes. Keeping the heat on medium to low, just so you have a constant sizzling sound, and stir it regularly. Now in goes 150ml, just over half a cup of dry white wine. Dry is important here. A sweet wine just wouldn't work for this dish. Cook that out until you have roughly half the liquid left. Then add in all your squash and all the veg stock. Stir everything so it's all well combined. Place a tight fitting oven safe lid on. If you haven't got one or you're unsure, just use some aluminium foil and place the pan into your preheated oven for around 40 to 45 minutes. Whilst that's cooking, let's prepare a garnish for this pasta dish. Place a frying pan onto a medium-high heat and add a handful of pumpkin seeds. Toast these for a few minutes, giving them a regular toss or stir, and towards the end, add a pinch of salt. These will give us a nutty, savoury flavour and bring a much-needed crunchy texture. Place them into a dish to cool down until we need them. It's been 40 minutes and my pasta is ready to come out of the oven. All of the grated squash has melted into a creamy consistency. The cubes of squash are perfectly soft and the orzo is fully cooked through without being mushy. This looks perfect. Now add 30 grams of finely grated Parmesan. I just grated this on my microplane. Gently fold that into the pasta. Taste for seasoning and adjust as necessary. Consistency at this stage is really important. We want something creamy and silky, not thick and stodgy. So don't be afraid to add a shot or two of water or stock to get to the right consistency. To plate this, just simply place a few spoonfuls into a bowl or plate, give it a few taps to get the orzo to settle. This is a good sign of having the right consistency. Top with a few of the toasted pumpkin seeds, and there you have this deliciously simple, warming squash orzo, perfect for autumn and winter. As always guys, ingredients, equipment lists and links to other videos are all in the description box below. If you're looking for another great pasta recipe, then you have to go check out this video next, and I'll see you next time.